Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast, brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening on a Monday. Hey, beautiful, how you doing?
Hello, I'm super. How are you?
Very good. Did you have a nice weekend?
I did.
I always have a nice weekend. You know why?
Why?
Because I spend them with you.
Oh.
We're married, too. In addition to working together and living together and doing the show together, we're together all the time.
We're pretty much.
Yeah, we might as well be handcuffed to each other. Hey, very interesting story here. Off-duty firefighter Barry McRoy of Walterboro, South Carolina. He was leaving a fast food restaurant when a stray bullet hit him. And he didn't even notice till he got home. He saw a bullet hole in his jacket. And he checked out a DVD, and he had the DVD in his pocket, and that's what stopped the bullet. Otherwise, it would have hurt him.
Wow.
He was walking along, ricocheting off him. That is nuts.
I wonder who was shooting.
I don't know. That is crazy. It was outside of a fast food restaurant.
Must have been a small caliber, because a DVD wouldn't have stopped.
I don't know.
Anything bigger than a .22, so it must have been.
Maybe it depends on what was on the DVD.
It's true.
It's a manly movie. Stop a bigger bullet.
Maybe rented Bulletproof.
There could be. Coming up, we got another fun story to share. It is on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com. They only get paid if they help you sell your RV. If you're buying an RV, you can find great deals at RVWheelator.com. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Court officials in Wilmington, Delaware are red in the face with embarrassment over the woman they hired to be their Spanish language courtroom translator.
Uh-oh.
She's had the job for 10 years, and nobody realized she couldn't speak a word of Spanish. How many people in Wilmington, Delaware have had to go under trial and had a translator where this lady had no clue what they were saying and just started making stuff up, apparently? I think there's going to be a lot of people getting a new trial.
Wouldn't the people have had a confused look on their... I mean, wouldn't somebody have figured it out way sooner?
If nobody else knew Spanish...
Maybe it's in a community where... After 10 years, there was finally a trial that came up where they needed a translator. I mean, there are a lot of communities where there's just not a Hispanic population, so this could be something where
it was in Wilmington, Delaware. So
they haven't needed one very often, and after 10 years, she finally got her first gig. And...
It's like, oh, wow. I don't really speak Spanish. You're going to have to get some... Can I bring my own translator with me? All right, we got an unusual weapon used in a robbery. That is on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
This may be the most unusual weapon ever used in a convenience store robbery. Guess what the weapon was?
What was that?
Lack of oxygen.
What?
Yeah, lack of oxygen. Well, most crooks hold up a store with, guns or knives or other weapons. Ralph Simpson thought he had a really innovative weapon. He was going to use this to rob a New Mexico convenience store. He walked into the store and threatened to hold his breath until he passed out.
Hold his own breath? Who cares?
He reasoned that he could then sue the store for injuries unless the clerk handed over the cash. Well, the clerk refused and allowed Simpson to hold his breath. When he realized it wasn't working, Simpson ran out of the stores. That's when he bumped into a police officer, by the way. He was coming in for some coffee. To make the punishment fit the crime, he's going to have to sit in the corner and think about how bad of a boy he is.
Oh, my goodness.
That's what they should do. That is just the weirdest thing ever. I mean, if you're going to rob a store, first of all, don't do that. That would be the smart thing. So you already know you're not working with a guy that's, genius material. But if you are going to rob a store, why in the world would you walk into a store to rob the place without a weapon and just say, give me your money or I'm going to hold my breath until I pass out?
I certainly wouldn't care. I'd be like, go ahead.
Knock yourself out there, buddy. I mean, seriously. It'll be so much easier for the police to come shovel you up and haul you off to jail.
Oh, funny.
Coming up later on the program, we have This Is Your Brain. This is Your Brain on Drugs. Got a good drug story today, an idiot that did some dumb things. Also coming up this morning, we got a really good scoop of the day. A lot of fun stuff. It is a Monday, but it is a fun day as well. So we got some really good things on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
This is John Stossel. Anything that makes it harder for you to speak limits your life. So if you or someone you know stutters, you can call the Stuttering Foundation for help. 800-992-9392.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
And this is your brain on drugs. Drug dealers in Memphis, Tennessee are behind bars after a sting operation called Operation Blue Crush. Police say suspects were so bold they advertised the fact that this was a crack house. When they were open for business, they'd flip a sign over that read, Crack House.
Oh my gosh.
We might need some language clarification here. When Captain Kirk and the crew of the Starship Enterprise go out on a 5-year mission to explore strange new worlds to seek out life and new civilizations where they go boldly, where no captain has gone before, well, these geniuses, Captain Coke and his crew of genius criminals, when they came upon an abandoned shack in a neighborhood and decided to set up shop, they put a giant sign up that said, crack for sale.
Wow.
There you go. This is your brain on drugs. Kids, if your mom and dad haven't told you this yet, don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs.
It's
of
not
any
good for
kind.
you. It's not good for you, health-wise. That's not good for you. It's not good for your thinking part of your brain where you actually have to use reason and logic and whatnot. And you do dumb things, and then we'll talk about you on the radio. So just do me a favor. Kids, don't do drugs. All right. Coming up, going to talk about a guy that had a whole bunch of hotel burglary. It's hard to say. Hotel burglaries in Britain. There we go. That's on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you're selling an RV, check out RVRealtor.com. They only get paid if they help you sell your RV. If you're buying an RV, you can find great deals at RVRealtor.com. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
I've never been to England. You've been there a couple times.
I have.
Now, they're very polite, aren't they? For the most part.
Yeah.
They speak very well.
Honestly, it's like every other country. There are some people that are polite. There are some people that are rude. Doesn't matter where you're at.
But by and large, when you think of people from Britain, you think of them.
When you think of the British, you think of polite. They're still
very
very rude. They just say it in a polite way.
So you're saying that. Well, they have this rule called a voluntary reparation rule that is just a weird rule. A thief who committed hundreds of hotel burglaries in Britain was paid by the British government to leave the UK. They gave him $6,000 and said, just go away. This is their
$6,000 or £6,000?
6,000, I don't know. It says it's got a dollar sign in front of it, so pounds, dollars, whatever.
Then it's got a dollar sign.
Well, is there a pound sign? What would that look like?
Yeah, there's a pound sign.
On my keyboard?
I'm sure there's a way to find it.
I don't think.
But yeah, there is a pound sign.
All right. Well, I don't know how
it's kind of like an F.
You're using
with a line under it and then a line in the middle.
I like that you're using your finger for people on the radio to see that.
I know.
That turned out great. Anyway, 6,000 pounds and or dollars to leave the UK under the voluntary reparation plan. Sad thing is, he was back in Britain stealing the very next day. I mean, they gave you money and told you to just go away. They should have thrown him in jail the first time.
Go become somebody else's problem.
Yeah, they're like, hey, go to France. They deserve you. So, anyway, coming up, we have your scoop of the day. That is on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Time now for the scoop of the day, brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. If you'd like to shave for $1 a month. That's why they call it Dollar Shave Club. It's $1 a month for the humble twin, and they'll deliver it to your door for just $2 more. So
you just got yours in the mail yesterday.
I did. I got my package right here. So I got some new ones to crack open, and it's a really great program. You can sign up, and they'll deliver them right to your door. Really, really cool thing. I mean, who wants to go to the store and buy razors anyway? Nobody wants to. So if they'll bring them to you, why not?
And they're so expensive at the store.
But this is a really cool thing.
Yeah,
it's called Dollar
awesome.
Shave Club. You can learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, your scoop of the day. A 38-year-old Ohio woman's quest to find her birth mother ended at the company that she works at. This is cool.
Oh.
LaSonia Mitchell Clark's mom, Francine Simmons, says, I'm still in shock. It's absolutely amazing. Turns out that Mitchell Clark has 3 sisters she didn't know about, and one of them works at the same company she works at.
Oh, that's neat.
How cool is that? A 21-year-old Texas man, easy for me to say, a 21-year-old Texas man was arrested for trying to cash a $360 billion check.
when are people going to learn? This is like the fourth story like this that we've told.
Yeah, these are not smart people. Tellers at the Fort Worth Bank were immediately suspicious. The man said his girlfriend's mother gave him the check to start a record business. Turns out the girlfriend's mom had no idea that he took one of her checks. If you're going to take a check and you're going to fill in the amount,
right.
Maybe
Make
aim
it a
for
realistic number.
$360 billion, dude?
Yeah,
seriously?
$360 you probably would have been able to get away with. But
not.
Yeah.
Even $360,000 would be.
And was he asking for that in cash? Like,
apparently.
And I'll just take that with me today?
I'd like to just get this in small, unmarked bills if I could.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's not smart. About 10% of the workforce in Egypt is under the age of 12. 10%. Although laws protecting children are on the books, they're not very well enforced in Egypt, partly because many poverty-stricken parents feel like they need to send their children out to help support the family. So 10% of the Egyptian workforce is under the age of 12.
That's really sad. Isn't that sad?
Is. And I just deleted a story that I was going to read here. There are more people over the age of 65 in America right now than there's ever been in the history of the world. There's more people, in the last 15 years or whatever. I deleted the story. I was going to keep it, but I didn't have room on the paper. I'm a weirdo. I won't print if it's just one story. And I'll even shrink the font down so small I can't even read it. That's bad. So every once in a while I'm reading a story that makes no sense because I can't read it. But it all fit on the page. So anyway, we have an issue here where we have a lot of people getting older, which is a good issue, I think, because I'm getting older. Hey, a study by San Diego State University, researchers there have disproven the popular phrase, the 5-second rule. They did a study to find out that if you drop your food on the floor, even if you pick it up within 5 seconds, it will still have bacteria on it.
Did they need a study for? I mean,
apparently.
We all know that, right?
I know.
It's just a silly thing we say. We
5
all
second
know
rule.
that, if you pick it up before 5 seconds, the germs don't have a chance to get on there.
Yeah,
we all know that.
They do. University of Newcastle study of 170.
I need to just make up some ridiculous study and get a grant,
there you
apparently.
Go. Cha-ching. Hey, a University of Newcastle study of 170 obese Australians disproved the common belief that you can lose weight faster if you break up meals into 5 or 6 snack-sized portions daily. There's no difference in the health or weight loss between those who ate 3 meals a day and those who ate small 6 meals a day, like 6 smaller but the same number of calories. A nutritionist says what matters is what you eat and how much you eat, not how many times. If you eat 6 small meals at a fast food, they even put a name, I'm not going to say it, but if you eat 6 small meals at a fast food place, that's not going to help. If you have,
right.
healthy meals, that's what's going to matter. A would-be thief was stealing a bag of cash from McDonald's. They were in 2 stories in a row. I guess I have to mention him in this one. An employee at the fast food restaurant in Paris. The burglar approached the night manager as she was locking up and demanded that she turn over the bank bag she was carrying. She did. As it turns out, it was not filled with money. It was filled with 4 dozen leftover McNuggets that she was going to take home to her dog.
Oh, wow.
So he robbed her of 4 dozen leftover. She, instead of throwing them in the trash, she thought, I'll feed them to my puppy. That's funny. All right, time now for our strange law. New York passed a law creating the crime of premeditated arbicide. You know what that is?
I have no idea what that is.
That is the willful mistreatment or destruction of trees. Offenders could face a fine of up to $15,000 or a year in prison if you mistreat a tree in the state of New York.
So, okay, like what? If you skip watering it for a day, they
don't
can throw
know.
you.
That
is very vague.
Well, they probably have maybe some description. I'm assuming it's like if you're breaking branches off or if you're carving in the tree. I have no idea. I don't know how you mistreat a tree. I'm gonna have to check into this.
I posted a thing on Facebook though. Speaking of trees, that had me thinking yesterday. It said, whenever I see a couple's name carved in a tree, I don't think, oh, how romantic. I think, I'm alarmed by the number of people that are bringing knives on dates. And I started thinking about that. I'm like, that's kind of creepy. You're on a date with some guy's got a knife at the ready.
Baby, I'm gonna carve our name in this tree.
Why do you have a knife?
What shall I do while you're doing that? Should I get a head start while I start running? All right. This has been your Scoop of the Day, brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. You can learn more about how you can get those delivered right to your door, and it's really simple and easy. Go to dollarshaveclub.com/radio.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Heidi, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? What do you think? If you're going to guess, it's the age-old riddle that's perplexed generations. What comes first? C-O-M-E-S comes. Would you just stop? What comes first, the chicken or the egg?
I would say the chicken.
All right.
First.
Well, we now have an answer. This age-old riddle has perplexed generations. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? British scientists who had nothing better to do claim to have finally come up with a definitive answer, and it is, what did you say?
The chicken.
That's what they say, the chicken.
And you know why I say that?
Why do you say
because
that?
God created the animals. He didn't create eggs.
All right.
He created the animals.
So there's Heidi's answer.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. I like that. Well, let's see what their answer is. According to these scientists over there in Britain, that's England as well, by the way, and Great Britain. They're all the same place. It's crazy.
You.
They say the chicken, scientific and philosophical mystery, has purportedly been unraveled by researchers at the Sheffield and Warwick universities. According to the Daily Mail newspaper, they say the scientists found that a protein found only in a chicken's ovaries is absolutely necessary for the formation of the egg. Therefore, the egg could only exist if it was somehow created inside of a chicken.
Correct.
So it couldn't have come first. There you have it.
Yeah.
Definitive answer.
I agree
If somebody
with them.
asks you, you can say it was some of those smart pants folks over there in England or Britain or Great Britain, however you want to say it. You're right every way. Isn't there another name for it too? No, I think that's all of them. Or is there another one?
Kingdom.
Yeah, the UK. There you go. I was just thinking of that the other day, how many different names that same place has. I'm like, why do they need so many names? What's with all the aliases, England? What are you guys up
What
to?
are you hiding?
What's your name? England? You just told him it was Britain. Over here, you said you're Great Britain. Over here, you're the UK. Who are you? Got an identity crisis. All right. Thanks for listening on a Monday. It is the John and Heidi Show, and we do appreciate you listening.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you're selling an RV, check out RVRealtor.com. They only get paid if they help you sell your RV. If you're buying an RV, you can find great deals at RVRealtor.com. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Today is a very special day, Heidi. You know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's a new month. Today is Monday, the first day of June. Doesn't it just sound weird to say that? Today is Global Day of Parents, so a good day to be a parent. It's Heimlich Maneuver Day.
Yeah.
And if you're a parent, you may have had a chance to do that once or twice.
I have had to
I remember
do that.
you had to knock a Werther's Original out of our son's
Yes.
throat once.
I've had to give him the Heimlich 3 times.
I know. I'm like, would you just chew your food a little bit better? National Go Barefoot Day. National Leave the Office Early Day.
Ooh, I like that day.
National Thank God It's Monday Day. Oscar the Grouch Day. Say Something Nice Day. And Stand Up for Children Day.
This is a good day.
It
These
is.
are all good things.
I'm going to celebrate by saying something nice. You have beautiful eyes.
Why, thank you.
You do. You really do.
Thank you. You're very good at compliments.
Thank you. Thank you. That's, appreciate that a lot. It's Leave the Office Early Day, so I hope I'm here till the very end. But you never know.
Let's
It might just
leave
be
the office early.
It might just be the Heidi Show by the end of the program. We'll see. We'll see. Thanks for listening on a Monday.
Hi, it's Jewel.
And Kelly Pickler.
Lung cancer is the #1 cancer killer of women
So we've joined the American Lung Association's Lung Force.
because it's going to take a force of women to create new hope.
Please join us.
Fight lung cancer in women at lungforce.org.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
I can't wait to get Heidi's reaction to this story.
Oh,
you know, there
boy.
are stories from time to time. When I put them together, I just eagerly anticipate what you might have to say about this. A U.S. woman has been jailed for failing to give up custody in a bitter divorce battle. So you're thinking she doesn't want her kids to go live with her hubby, right?
Okay.
It's not
I'm
her
assuming
kids.
It's a dog.
It's her cats.
Cats.
3 kitty cats. Lynn Goldstein was given 30 days behind bars because she repeatedly defied a court order to hand over 3 cats to her ex-partner, Tom Nichols. Judge Jerry Bowles passed the sentence on to Goldstein after ordering that she could keep the couple's 3 dogs and their rabbit called Mr. Bobo. She says, "This is like a bad dream," said Goldstein from jail. "Everyone who has checked me through the system has looked at me and said, 'He gave you 30 days over some cats?'" But she says, "The cats are like my children. I've never had children. They're not 2-legged children. They're 4-legged children. I've always been an animal crusader. I love my pets like children." So she's upset that she had to, I think it's ridiculous she had to go to jail over this.
I think it's ridiculous she wouldn't get rid of the cats. Most people dump their cats off on a country road in the middle of nowhere.
If it's their cats, they would love them. But
okay, so she got to keep the dogs.
Well,
and
that's
Mr.
the
Bobo.
thing. She got the rabbit and 3 dogs, and she wanted to keep the cats too. She's like, "I want them all." So I wonder if this guy really wanted the cats or if he just didn't want her to have the cats.
First of all, if he did really want the cats, she is better off without him.
Jesus, stop. Here's the reason.
He should have been going for the dogs.
Here's the reason I was excited to see what Heidi has to say. She's allergic to cats.
I don't care for
so
cats.
I have a couple of relatives that have cats. We go over to visit, and Heidi's eyes get all puffy. By the time we leave there, she kind of looks a little bit like E.T. He's like, "Ugh. Heidi, go home."
Well, and they're so rude. They don't like you. Why do you keep bringing them into your house?
They love you.
Holding them prisoner.
Cats are awesome at detecting people who are allergic to them because we'll come over.
Yeah, they're
there'll be
rubbing up
14
against
people
me.
that'll come into this house, and the only one they want to see is Heidi. They're like, "Hey, I remember you. You don't like me. I'm going to rub on your legs. I'm going to jump on your lap. Love me. Love me." All right, coming up in a bit, we're going to talk about washing your clothes before you wear them. Do you have to? Well, we'll find out. That's on the way.
This is John Stossel. Anything that makes it harder for you to speak limits your life. So if you or someone you know stutters, you can call the Stuttering Foundation for help. 800-992-9392.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
The age-old question, or maybe I just made this question up. If you buy a new pair of pants, do you need to wash them before you wear them, or is it okay to just put them on in the store and walk out?
I just wear them. You can't put them on in the store and
I
walk
did that
out.
once. You remember?
Yes,
She
it was
bought me
embarrassing.
she bought me a pair of pants that were way too big for me because I refused to try things on. So after wearing these for a while with a belt, and actually I didn't have a belt. They were falling down, and I looked like an idiot. I said, "I'm going to just go get some different pants." So we went together. I tried them on, and I said, "Can I just wear these out?" And I went to the cash register with my old pants, and she scanned the thing on my belt. Anyway, you can wear them out, but do you really need to wash them before you wear them? According to the Today Show, they asked the question, and according to them, a professor of dermatology at Columbia University says those clean-looking clothes are not clean at all.
People have tried them on. I get it.
Yeah, there's dyes and formaldehyde and resins, and they can give you skin irritation, and some people have full-blown allergic reactions. But they're far from the only risks. He said, "I've seen cases of lice that was transmitted from people who tried something on and didn't want it. Other people who had certain infectious diseases that were passed on because they put clothing on that somebody else had worn."
But
so
you know what?
The answer now for me is yes. Wash them first.
Listen, though, if you tried it on at the store
Yeah.
before you took them home,
That's why I
you
don't try.
already had them on.
But I don't try them on at the store. That's my
but then
thing.
if you've taken the tags off and washed them, you can't return them. So
All
you're
right.
stuck with it no matter what.
There you go. Then I better just like them no matter what size they are. I guess I'm going to have to lose a couple pounds. All right. You ever feel lightheaded or dizzy when standing up too quickly?
Yes.
We're going to talk about that in a moment and tell you why that happens. That's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you're selling an RV, check out RVRealtor.com. They only get paid if they help you sell your RV. If you're buying an RV, you can find great deals at RVRealtor.com. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
It's happened to me before, and it sounds like maybe it's happened to you.
Oh,
Stood
yeah.
up too quickly, and I got like lightheaded and dizzy and like
Yes.
almost fell over. Do you ever wonder why that is?
I usually assume it's from the wine.
No, that's for you. That actually could be. I do remember this. I have a younger brother, Joe, that when he was a little guy, just a little guy, we discovered that, and I think this happens for everybody, but if you crouch down and like you breathe out, if you stand up really fast, he would anyway. If he stood up really fast, he would faint. He'd like fall down. There were a couple times where he fell down and nobody caught him, and he landed hard. So But if you've ever wondered why that happened, and if you ever wonder why we kept putting him up to that.
You guys are so mean.
No, we weren't. He was the one that did it. He discovered.
You were awful to him.
Oh, we love him. Joe, I love you. I really do. He's my little brother.
That lack of oxygen, though, to the brain explains quite a bit with Joe.
According to a new study, you might be more likely to suffer from heart failure if you have that happen to you often. So if you stand up and you get dizzy, you better listen here. That lightheaded rush, for some people that experience that, it's when you go from lying down or sitting down and you stand up too quick. It's caused by a rapid drop in blood pressure known as orthostatic hypotension. Orthostatic hypotension appears to be related to the development of heart failure along with other conditions that are known to cause heart failure. The study's author is Dr. Christine DeLong-Jones. So if you want to know more, Google that name and see if you can find it. That's just crazy, though. So now I kind of feel bad that I told the story about my brother ahead of time. I should have waited till I found out how that one panned out.
If he dies of heart disease someday, you're going to be like, oh.
I had no clue that it was my older brother that made him do it. It wasn't me. All right, on the way, we're going to talk about some jobs at the circus. Oh, yeah, that is on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Have you ever thought how fun it would be to work at the circus?
Not even once.
Really?
Never.
As a kid, I used to think that, you go to the circus, you're like, man, look how much fun these guys have every day. There's a lot of jobs you could do at the circus, but having knives thrown at you, is that a good idea?
It's an illusion anyway, isn't it?
Well, probably be safer for cleaning, tiger cages and stuff than getting knives thrown at you. But about 20 people have applied for a position after an advertisement appeared in the Brighton Job Center. Paul Webb of the Cottle and Austrian Circus says that the ideal candidate must have nerves of steel, not to mention armor plating. Haha. He doesn't really care who gets the job. There is no age limit. It can be a man. It can be a woman. The position of knife thrower's assistant. They need to fill the position soon as the previous target wants to work in a different part of the circus. They want to do something. Anything other than having knives thrown at them. So... There's a job if you're looking for one. Hey, we got a son that just graduated high school. Hey, what do you think? Maybe standing there and
looking for something to do.
Let him throw knives at you. Huh? Probably not. That's not the job that I would apply for. But there are a lot of jobs at the circus that I do think would be fun. I don't think that would be fun. I don't think shoveling the manure would be fun because there's a lot of that at the circus. I don't think that'd be fun. But being the guy that comes out and the MC, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wouldn't that be fun? I
totally see you doing that.
That would be a hoot. Hey, if there's anybody looking for an MC for a circus, you just keep me in mind. All right, coming up
all the time. You have to travel with them. They don't do that in one community every night.
That's what I'm saying. I'd have some freedom. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Hey, the DMV is in the news. We're going to chat about them coming up in a bit.
Hi, it's Jewel.
And Kelly Pickler.
Lung cancer is the #1 cancer killer of women
So we've joined the American Lung Association's Lung Force.
because it's going to take a force of women to create new hope.
Please join us.
Fight lung cancer in women at lungforce.org.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
The Department of Motor Vehicles. This is a place that not a lot of people have positive, heartwarming, wonderful stories about.
Right.
Our son was just at the DMV recently. He lost his license. It sounded like he had quite the experience getting a new one, so that was fun. But what would you do if the DMV decided that you were a woman rather than a man, despite the evidence that's, to the contrary? Didn't they have that on your license?
My license said male.
They're
we had to stand in line all over again.
Yeah.
The thing reprinted.
That's right. Well, a Cedar Rapids...
They didn't argue with me. They
No.
didn't say,
Are you sure? No,
Yeah.
she flat out said, I hit the wrong button. While it was printing, she said, I hit the wrong button. This thing's going to come out saying you're a man. I know you're a woman. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, a Cedar Rapids, Iowa man recently spent 45 minutes trying to convince the Iowa Department of Transportation that he was really a man. It seems that Ed Matthews went to the driver's license office to update the address on his license. The clerk noticed that it said F for female on his driver's license. Instead of looking at him and figuring that he was indeed a man, the clerk informed him that he must show a copy of his birth certificate to the department if he wants that F changed to an M. Instead of going through the hassle, he said, you know what? Just give it to me the way it is. I don't care if it says F or M. Doesn't matter to me. So he's got a driver's license that says he's a female.
Wow.
So there you go. I don't know that it's really going to cause any issue, unless, of course, he gets pulled over and the officer says, wait a minute here. Did you know it says you're a female?
Well, if he ever does break the law and says, we're looking for a male, a white male, he can show him proof. It's not me.
Wasn't me.
I'm a female.
Price.
It says so right here on my state-issued ID.
Look at this. I'm not a man. Does he lose man points for something like that? That is crazy. All right. Coming up, I was telling you should keep yours saying you were a man. You didn't want to.
No,
they wouldn't let you anyway.
More than happy to change that.
But the thing that I didn't like is we had your whole driver's license number changed too. Our numbers were consecutive, one after another, and then
like that matters.
Oh, I would have known your license number then, but now I have no clue what it is. So if you go missing, I just have to describe her. I'm like, well, she's like somewhere between 5 foot and 6 foot tall. I don't know. She weighs somewhere between like 100 and 250. I have no idea. She's somewhere between the ages of 30 and 90. I don't pay much attention. I should probably know you a little better, shouldn't I?
Wow.
All right. I could give a much better description. But if I had your driver's license number, that would help a lot.
Yeah, what's that going to do?
I don't know. I have no idea. I think it's time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. It's a Monday. Kind of feeling a little squirrely here. Thank you so much for joining us on the John and Heidi Show.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Time now for that bonus break that you've all been waiting for on the edge of your seats. Do you have something good for today, Heidi?
You know what? I don't.
Okay, you look for something while I share this. You can just move on and ignore me as you usually do here.
Okay.
When a Michigan man let his 2 dogs out of his house, they began chasing something. They ran across the property that he owned and ran onto his neighbor's property. He went chasing after his dogs, and he went across his property into his neighbor's property. When he got there, he stepped into a fence pole, and he fell and injured himself. So he decided to sue the property owner for negligence for having a hole in his property. But the court dismissed the case, saying, since the man was trespassing anyway, the owner of the property was not required to make sure his property was safe from people falling in holes who weren't invited there anyway. So it sounds like they have some common sense in Michigan. That's kind of cool. Because there was a story not too long ago about a guy who was, and this has been a few years back, but it was a burglar who was breaking into a home and he fell through a skylight and got hurt. He sued the homeowners and won. And we just talked about a guy that gets stuck in a chimney, robbing a house Santa style, and he's trying to sue the homeowners. So it's good to know that this guy didn't get his way. The look on your face tells me I should be concerned, very concerned.
You really should, because this one it's awful. But
so should we just give people a warning if you're weak of
yes,
this?
if you are easily offended,
just turn off this podcast now.
Turn off the podcast now, because this one it definitely crosses the line. But I think it's
why
hilarious.
are you doing it then?
Because it's so funny.
All right, I'm going to get ready to bleep some things because I got a feeling that's on the way.
Okay.
Beep. Just kidding.
What's the difference between your job and a dead prostitute? Your job still sucks.
Wow. I got nothing. Why do you do this to me? I am so sorry. Well, the good news is we gave him a warning.
Oh, goodness gracious.
I thought I was going to have to bleep something. That was a pretty short joke.
It was short.
It wasn't very good. Are you sharing that on Facebook now? What are you doing over there? You just seem so proud of yourself.
Oh, that was funny.
All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast. We appreciate you tuning in. If you would like to connect with us through Facebook, we have a page set up for the show now and for the podcast. It's facebook.com/john-and-heidi-show. So it's kind of a long one. JOHN-AND Heidi, HEIDI, show, SHOW. I need a break. It's a good thing this thing's done.